to be here on a happier note, because I spent 4 very eventful years in this chamber, cross-pollinating ideas with eminent Nigerians on how to redefine the meaning and concept of modern leadership. I can remember vividly the firecracks that used to fly between the then minority leader, Ainaya Hakot Abaribe, a very erudite scholar, and another giant of the Senate, Yahya Abdullahi, the then majority leader. Ironically, both of them are on the other side of the aisle this time around. Your Excellency, I thank you. I appreciate you for inviting me on this solemn occasion. I appreciate you because our political space is populated by careful snails who do not want to disturb the apple cart. But here you are, a very colorful politician. The First Republic had had its own share of the Aminu Kanos, of the Ozumba Mbadiwes, of the Penkelemesis. The Second Republic had had our own Abubakar Rimis, the Sabo Bakinzuos, the Sambakwes, and the Busari Adelafons. But this republic, Gudaji Kazore had fallen by the wayside. Patrick over here upon is nowhere to be seen. You are now the most colorful politician enlivening the political atmosphere. And the last time I met my brother, my friend Senator Ifeanyi Ubah, was when you came with him, along with the majority leader, Senator Michael Opemi Bamidele, and the beautiful Hadiza Natasha Akpoti, to condole me over the loss of my mother-in-law. Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues, the youngest member of the 9th Senate was also one of its brightest stars. His age belied his political dexterity and grassroots affiliation. His generosity knows no bounds, and his free spirit broke down political and ethnic barriers. There was a time the Boko Haram viciously attacked a community in Borno Central. Senator Ifeanyi Ubah reached out to me through my friend Mikhail Tokumbo Abiru. He traced me to my house and gave a donation of 50 million naira and said, please, I don't want this donation to be publicized. Your Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, Ifeanyi Ubah was a good man. His bridge building capacity elevated his political journey beyond older and more established giants in the arena. And he was easily on his way to bigger conquests when the Lord called him home. I want to align myself with the earlier speaker, Senator Osita Izonaso, who quoted John Donne, who said, I am involved in mankind, never sent to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. Death is an inevitable destiny that is hanging on everyone's neck. We are all travelers on our journeys home. From where? From God. To where? To God. My condolences to his family, friends, and political associates, most especially Ian, with whom they are planning to go on a long journey. Your Excellency, please receive my most heartfelt condolences. I miss the Senate. It's a familiar house. I miss my friends. I even miss the ushers. Mokhtar Dadao even named a son after me. That's how close I was with the Senate family. I feel I belong to you, and you belong to me. Even the younger ones, Ifeanyi has become my friend. Thank you so much. And of course, an incoming governor is wearing a red cap and looking out at me. Thank you so much, and God bless us all.
Thank you. Deputy Senate President, I wish to extort the Vice President the place last respect to
this your man, don't forget. This is your Vice President, forget to
on Ifeanyi Patrick Ubah, and I concur and put myself in all the encomiums that have been said about this gentleman. I didn't know Ifeanyi until 2019, immediately after the elections. And we were campaigning for Ahmed Lawan to be Senate President. He met me in Hilton and drew me aside, introduced himself from YPP, and told me that he's going to caucus with the APC. Immediately, I took him to our meeting room. From then, he was part of us until the end of the 9th Senate. Mr. President, from my little knowledge of this near-perfect gentleman, everything that people have said about him is true. We lost a great man. We lost a man who is focused on what he wants and persists in getting what he wants with dignity and with honor. I was not perturbed, really, when he defected from YPP, even though he was the sole light of that party, and went to APC. I'm sure he has a vision that he wanted to create in the APC by that strategic move. Mr. President, I can't say more than what all my other colleagues have said. I align myself with what they have said about this near-perfect gentleman. I just pray to Allah to console his family, and also align with what Senator Tambol has said. The passing of Senator Ubah is a lesson for all of us. We should sit down and reflect about life. He went through life for 52 years and gave his all. He got all the life goals that he has set out for himself. God, in his wisdom, took him away from us. We pray that we also benefit from learning that this life on this earth is a life of service. We should dedicate ourselves, like he did, to the service of humanity and particularly his local communities. I believe that Patrick Ubah, if he had lived, would attain, with a dynamic personality, political heights that only very few have attained in Igbo land and Nigeria. I pray for Allah to bless him, bless his soul, and give his family the solace in this time of their loss. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, the leader.
And distinguished colleagues, as you directed, mine will be very brief. and different. If my other colleagues have mentioned this, I wouldn't have insisted. Ifeanyi was a great man. I was very close to him when he joined us in the Senate. Very courageous, very young. Death, as all of us know, is going to happen to each and every one of us. The time is what we don't know. I believe that even death, this angel of death, wouldn't have picked on Patrick Ifeanyi. But the angel of death follows orders from Almighty Creator, who created us and fixed the date for our departure. What I want to appeal, I thought about it since yesterday and was thinking that I'll bring it as a kind of motion. But I don't know whether it will be right. So I want to appeal, Mr. President, and my distinguished colleagues. We all know and said that Ifeanyi is no more. He will be committed to earth on the 22nd. His spirit and soul will be gone. But his dreams and aspirations is there on ground because he has the Ifeanyi Foundation. What I want to appeal to you, Mr. President, is let us keep the spirit, aspirations of Ifeanyi alive. How? It has happened before. Chuba Okadibo was a great politician. When he died, years after, his wife, widow, Margaret, was sitting around here with me. Our First Lady was virtually forced, Reminiscing, to come to the Senate by people of Lagos after her husband, who is the president. She served 2 terms. And when it is time in Lagos, it used to be only 2 terms. They insisted that she should go for 3rd term. And why? Because she performed credibly. In fact, she told me her dream was to be a pastor, and she is one. After that, we had Senator Ifeanyi, as it from South, Ifeanyi. She was the wife of a great general from South, and she performed creditably here. After that, right there, where Ifeanyi used to sit, Abiru is sitting down there. His father was a senator in 1979. Right on my right is Yaradua. Everybody knows who Yaradua is. Senator Obasanjo, if you remember, was the daughter of General Obasanjo. Sitting in front of me, right there, is Ifeanyi. His father was a great senator. Even in America, the Kennedys, when the president was assassinated, his brother became the senator, and he spent 40 years in the Senate. And the Bush family. Finally, my appeal, Mr. President, to you and my distinguished colleagues. His wife, fortunately, is 50 years or so, a wonderful wife. Let us support the family and have the spirit representative of Ifeanyi here in the chamber when the election for the Anambra senatorial district that he represents comes over. Thank you very much. May his soul rest in peace.
Thank you. Distinguished colleagues.